different lanes will essentially work differently. And then yeah, that's essentially like the main part of it. That essentially like whenever you jump in, there's and then essentially that leads you into essentially facing each lane as its own threat. So whereas before you could essentially plan ahead to essentially have one build that will be sufficient to complete the whole map. The primary concerns that we essentially so it's not going to be exclusively whatever is at that comparable difficulty, but you are going to essentially.
What are you listening to?
You gotta hear this one song. It'll change your life, I swear. Oh, I'm sorry. You have to, you gotta fill out your forms. Conundrum. Think you could, maybe listen while you fill out the forms? Yeah, okay.
We're magical angel pets, giving you all the strength. You're gonna be awesome and powerful. It's the coolest of all time. All the maps are available. Even our Hot Springs map is available on Onslaught. So like we've literally grabbed the majority, not all of our maps, but the majority of the maps, right? Like Betsy's not going to show up for now in Onslaught for now.
Oh,
for now.
Did you tell them that Hot Springs will be part of the rotation?
I just said that.
Did you? Oh man!
Just did.
Oh man! Jesus!
Dude, Jose's on like another
I'm just like.
But to reiterate, it will be.
But so Hot Springs will be in Onslaught.
Oh.
For now.
Did you tell him?
What does
Melandrian, I'm your host,
look like?
Essentially.
What country you from? English, motherfucker. Do you speak it?
No.
And you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
describe what
Melandrian, I'm your host,
looks like.
Essentially.
Say again. Say
Essentially.
again. I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say
Essentially.
one more goddamn time.
He's black.
Go on.
He's bald.
Does he look like a
Lawlta.
Essentially. Right.
So what is the schedule?
My bad. So a schedule is essentially the group of enemies that you're seeing through the game modes that you've been playing. So when you're playing campaign, there's a group of enemies that are coming through. When you're playing any given chaos difficulty, we're not essentially calling schedules the group of enemies that you're seeing when you play a map. So essentially now
A
before.
different one might be all ogres, and one defense would just work against.
And then
them.
you kind of know, essentially, you jump into trials, and then you need to be able to essentially identify the individual threats that you're going to be seeing in each one of the lanes, and essentially what's best for that. They're essentially the modifiers to the enemy. So essentially, it's pretty much like you essentially on how to appropriately combat, essentially like beat that lane. It's not like something that's like truly like it's not gonna essentially tell you like you. But essentially, like the term schedule, so essentially going to see it'll crank up from you're going to be essentially unlocking roughly. This is not like 1-to-1, but essentially like roughly essentially going to essentially be essentially you essentially like I think about I think
if we